All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect is fighting a good fight of faith and truth and sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believers. Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, this quick clip says so much, and this is where we're heading. So what's about to happen is that you're not about to have access to this truth. And you people out there are going to miss the men of the Lord. Because when the Lord take the men of the Lord off the street, that's when all hell is going to break loose. So it said that a man that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare, which is a trap, for him that reproveth in the gate and turn aside the just for a thing or not. So, the famine of the word, the prophet's been talking about that for years. And we getting closer and closer to everything that the prophet's been talking about. This is a so-called new year, starting off with a bang. Venezuela, they've been getting tacked from the end of 2025. And even now, you got Trump talking about going over to Iran, putting their nose in other people's business, which is the beginning, stage of World War III, because Iran is a big, major ally with Russia. So, that bar fire that happened in Switzerland on New Year's, I think 40 people died, 100 people injured, graphic video, I seen it. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. So the Lord, he doing things, man. The scripture says that, his judgment go out every morning, but the unjust know of no shame. But this quick clip right here, that's why I'm going to get the scriptures out before we get this, watch it all the way through. So in the time that the Lord take the men off the street, the world is going to be in a chaotic frenzy. Because you got to understand, the reason that the Lord is not allowing all things to go to hell is because we still got to preach his word. So it says, there shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places. Menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. We already in this time. All right. And that's talking about children, being deformed. Also, these little demons that's being born. These children bad as hell. And scripture said that, every generation would get worse. But and salt water should be found as sweet, which represents confusion. All friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself. The wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber. Is talking about this truth. So all hell is going to be breaking loose when this happens. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. Incontinency, probably not even saying it right, but that means lack of discipline. Okay. So nobody is going to have any type of discipline in this time, because it's going to be, I have to do what I got to do to survive. See, these people are going to be the ones who don't have the provisions, who don't have Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, who didn't keep the word of his patience, that the Lord would keep you, safe in these times to come. And it says, one land shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their way shall not prosper. Because at this time, we're literally at the end. When the Lord take the men off the street, oh yeah, society's still going to be running, life always goes on, but what's going to be happening in life at these times? It said, at the same time shall men hope but nothing obtain. Because at this time, pretty much the full implement of, the beast system would be either on the earth or in the beginning stages of it. And it's going to cause people, to not move around and have the freedom that they used to. I mean, if they taking away the First Amendment rights, then how many other rights they're going to take away? So
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment.
As you see too, this is a Israeli, which is a small hat, which is an Amalekite in the scriptures. The imposters who call themselves the Joe. All right, of course it's them. They own everything. That's why they don't fulfill the scriptures. Scripture says that, first of all, we had to be delivered from the Lord out of the hands of our enemies. Okay, and we'll be a poor people. So they don't fit it. They don't fit the physical description, and they don't fit the literal. They don't fit the spiritual. And also, if they were the people, the whole world would be subjected unto them, and people wouldn't be trying to war against them. And they wouldn't even have to do this. They wouldn't even have to put laws in place for people not to speak against them. Everything would be in subjection through the Lord.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online, and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social media.
Yeah.
So it's very plain, straight to the point. So this is what they want. This is what the scripture says is going to happen. So that's why I always say, you better get this word while the getting is good. And I always think about, I try to put myself in the mind state of when the Lord do take the men of the Lord off the street, how the people would think themselves to be in a good case, because, most people have a problem with us, even though we're not violent. All we doing is reading from a literal Bible or the Bible that's in our phone, and we don't cause no trouble. People just, despise this word, and they're going to think that they're doing something. They got a victory when they see the men off the street. Because when you read this, right, it said, behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yay, yippee, about time. Right? Because, see, you know how the scripture says that every man should not live by bread alone, by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High? See, people still going to be able to shove their faces with the GMOs, all right? They still going to be like, I could finally go to the chief place of concourse, my local downtown or wherever men preach, without hearing, these disgruntled Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Yes. So they going to be able to drink their polluted water still, they polluted sodas, their genetically modified food, and they going to think themselves to be in a good case. But it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and it shall not find it. Why will people be seeking? Because everything that the prophet said will come to pass. That's why. So when we read Ecclesiastes 12, you really have to understand what it's saying. Don't sound good. All of this is going to be happening All of this is going to be happening on the earth in the time. So now, so imagine this right now. We're telling you about the things that's about to happen. The Lord take us off the street. Everything starts to happen. You really wasn't listening in the first place. So it went through one ear and out the other. A couple of things might have stayed with you, but when some things don't fully stay with you, you're going to have to ask a question. You're not going to be able to ask a question. So that's why when we read this, right, remember now your creator in the days of your youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when you should say, I have no pleasure in them. All right. And we still in this time. Sadly, we at the end of the end, and people still talk about, I don't got time for the Lord. I want to do what I want to do. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars, all of those are lights, right? The Lord classified this truth as light. Also, that's one fold. The other fold is that it's going to be darkness. Okay? Remember the scripture said darkness shall cover the earth. Gross darkness to people. So this sun, the light, the moon, the stars represents this truth. That's why I said, be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. And it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right. So that means no future that you see, because jobs going to be few. The data for 2025, they said that 1.17 jobs was lost. But Donald Trump talk about the tariffs and all of this stuff is going to bring jobs and bring more money. It's not doing none of that. He's a liar. He's a devil. What you expect? But this is what's going to be happening at when the time that the Lord, take the men of the Lord off the street. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. He shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Music already trash. He's going to continue to get more low. All right. So these are the things that's going to happen. And we told you. So I'm going to end it on this.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment.
All right. It's time to limit the First Amendment. So say, and when this cometh to pass, lo, and it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So all you scoffers out there, you're going to think yourself to be in a good case when it does happen. But then evils is going to grow upon the earth. And then you're going to want to know why and what's the answer. Who can I talk to? And you ain't going to have nobody. So, all right, so seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. And shalom.